Yeah, hi guys, we are the Dissonance Tech team, and today we'll be showing our current study on the analysis of technology-induced cognitive dissonance. My name is Eliana Horn, and along with my team is Avigna, Arya, Moksha, Alice, and Maddie. Yeah, so here's the general gist of what our presentation will consist of: our background, abstract, methodology, preliminary analysis, and our next steps. So first we'll start with our background, and I would like to get a general gist of what our study is. So what is the cognitive dissonance theory? Well, cognitive dissonance theory is a theory stating that when one's attitude conflicts with their behavior, there's a mental discomfort that arises within their brain. This mental discomfort is called cognitive dissonance. And many people think that attitude and behavior may seem interconnected and similar, but they're actually two separate concepts. Attitude is a person's internal morals or values. So these are your preconceived beliefs a person uses to judge those around them and their actions. And behavior is a response to a stimuli, such as a habit. In a way, you could think behavior is external and attitude is internal. And when there's a gray area between your behavior and attitude, or someone's external habits and internal beliefs, this is cognitive dissonance. So next, we will be discussing how dissonance is in regards to our study on technology. How many of you guys are addicted to TikTok and Instagram? I know many people are, and many people and teens are often using social media such as Instagram and TikTok. And people are often faced with cognitive dissonance because they don't know whether social media usage becomes a habit, but they also understand the risks of big data companies in regards to their data privacy. And this conflict between behavior and attitude is highlighted in the expectation disconfirmation theory. And we are surrounded by different uses of technology for every day, such as ChatGPT, self-driving cars, and AI technologies. These have become such a pivotal part of our lives, and we're often faced with the internal conflict if these technologies are morally right to use or safe, such as this autonomous vehicle I constantly see throughout my neighborhood. And with our study, we will be able to study the internal conflicts people are often faced with using these various technologies. And these internal conflicts will understand the dangers, risks, and benefits of the uses of technology to further understand our consumer experience and how we will even implement new technological designs and innovations. We will assess people's habits, perception of these technologies, and their effect to their underlying attitudes, morals, and willingness to accept to innovate technologies in their everyday life, such as this everyday autonomous vehicle I see in my neighborhood.
So cognitive dissonance theory was developed by social psychologist Leon Festinger in 1957, and it mostly concluded that individuals who face this dissonance have this internal burden and resolve this discomfort by shifting their attitude, which results in the contradiction between their attitude and their behavior. And throughout the 1960s through 1990s, there were frequent revisions made, way changes such as the way they conducted the experiments or found ways to gather results, which resulted in other mini theories. And there were obviously shifts in popularity with the concept of this. And frequently, you think of when you hear cognitive dissonance would be an individual striving to maintain a healthier lifestyle, yet frequently eating or consuming junk food, or an individual who knows that smoking is bad for their health but continue to smoke anyways. So current studies being done on the cognitive dissonance theory tend to focus on smart home technology or dissonance and related to emotions like anger, regret, or guilt, which makes sense because those emotions tend to be very intense and make the person feel more illogical, which would result in the contradictions between their attitudes and their behavior.
Okay, next we're going to go over the abstract for our study. So our aim is to explore the contrast between consumer beliefs and behaviors in reaction to the different creative technological product designs that have been implemented in the world in today's days. So to conduct our study, we've developed a questionnaire that presented participants with paired statements reflecting opposing values. We used participants' level of agreement with these statements to calculate dissonance scores, which let us see how dissonance varied between different categories. So our preliminary data analysis has demonstrated potential correlations between various technological subgroups, such as AVs and video game designs. We are also in the midst of examining potential gender-specific trends.
So for our methods, we developed a questionnaire on JotForm, which is a HIPAA-compliant service. Our questionnaire consists of demographic information and the survey. We developed a basis for our questionnaire using the NEO-FFI format, which is a personality test measuring agreeableness, conscientiousness, neuroticism, extroversion, and openness. For this particular study, we decided to focus on the parts of the personality regarding agreeableness, openness, and suspicion with regards to various technologies. And for our questionnaire, we had statements relating to 8 categories, which were safety, smart homes, AVs, healthcare, ChatGPT, video games, technology application, and general questions. Next slide. So participants rated how much they agreed with each of our statements using a 10-point Likert scale, 1 meaning strongly disagree, 2 to 4 meaning disagree, 5 to 6 meaning neutral, 7 to 9 meaning agree, and 10 meaning strongly agree. After we received the data, we began our scoring. Each statement in our questionnaire was paired, meaning that there is 1 odd and 1 even statement that both contradict each other. One statement would be about belief and the other one would be about action. For example, one statement would be, I think that using ChatGPT in an academic environment is gaining an unfair advantage, while the corresponding pair to that question would be, I use ChatGPT often to complete tasks such as writing emails. So because the statements are contradicting each other, if participants responded similarly to both statements, we can say that they experience high cognitive dissonance regarding this topic. For scoring, the scores for the pairs are subtracted, then the absolute value of the difference is taken, and the averages of scores for the paired statements for each category is computed. And overall, we've concluded that a lower dissonance score indicates more dissonance, whereas a large score indicates less dissonance.
Okay, so for our preliminary analysis, we found that we don't have a large enough sample size to come to a set conclusion. We attempted to correlate the different groups, and it was evident that we needed more data. For example, we attempted correlating education level and dissonance scores, and we found that the mean dissonance scores conflicted with the number of participants in each category. So yeah, on this slide, you can see at the bottom right, the table that says table with the different education groups shows that the undergraduates had the highest mean dissonance scores of 4.567. But then when you look to the bar graph right next to it, the undergraduate participants, the amount of those participants is significantly less than like mastering the postdoc or those currently pursuing high school. So we found that there was no significant correlation there. Some other things that stood out to us were the potential correlation between dissonance towards autonomous vehicles and video games among adult participants. And we also found that male participants showed a high propensity for dissonance with regards to AI technology. Overall, we were unable to find a significant correlation due to limits in demographics and sample size.
So here is what we are working on now. So our number 1 priority is going to be collecting more data points, and we're going to do so by gathering the various demographics such as age, race, gender, household income, etc. And this is why we need your help, because we are currently looking for more participants for our study, and I have put here a QR code that leads to our link tree, and there you can find the consent forms. One is for adult and one is for adolescents. If you're filling this out as an adolescent, I would suggest that you do the adolescent consent form and have your parents sign it so that you could participate in our questionnaire. So our next step after that is going to be analyzing our data, and we plan to complete our data collection by spring of 2024. And simultaneously, we are looking into methods for data analysis so we can be prepared for when we have enough data to begin this process. And our last step is going to be writing our paper, and our ultimate goal is to collaborate on this paper during the summer of 2024. So if you have a moment now, pick up like a device near you, your phone, your iPad, anything, and scan this QR code. You could set it aside for now and do it maybe when you have time later on in the day. That would be super appreciated by our team. And lastly, thank you to ASDRP, Sahar for all her guidance and suggestions, and also our participants, because our study would not be able to be here without you guys. And that concludes the end of our presentation today. Thank you.